I guess that's what today's video is gonna be about. Hey guys, let's make compost. They're scaredy ducks.
I know. You see the ducks?
Good morning, beautiful people. We are back. Feels so good to be back
On our dirt.
I want to say a really huge thank you to everybody who came up and said hi, and it was really cool getting to meet all you guys. It's always such an encouragement for us to be able to meet fans and make new friends.
See who we're talking to.
Yeah, see who we're sharing with.
Yeah.
Truly our people.
Yeah.
So this morning we're just getting back. We're checking out everything. We got home yesterday afternoon and we're just like, things have grown. We've only been gone for what, 4 days?
4 days.
And it seems like everything has grown. The grass is, that much taller.
Yeah.
The ducks, I don't think we've really shown these. There's a little bit of a backstory. Jack, he's one of the twins. He's one of the oldest boys. He wanted ducks. We weren't real keen on getting ducks, but he said, if I save up my money and I buy them and I do everything, can I raise ducks? You betcha.
Yes, do it.
So he saved up his money. He bought a breeding trio about a year ago. Before he even got out, one of the males, one of the females died. So he went down to 2. A friend gave us a duck that she'd hatched that was a male.
If y'all remember.
If you remember.
Skipper the house duck.
That was Skipper the house duck. Well, when it was the weekend, we did Mighty Man Camp with the Rhodes boys. We got back and something got the ducks. After we got back, it was that night we got back.
Not while I was babysitting.
Yeah, it was
I just
not
want
on
to point
her
that
watch.
out. It was not my fault.
We had gotten home, we saw I saw them out there and got up the next day and they're gone.
Yeah.
Something had got in there. We found it looked like coyotes had jumped the fence and got in there and ate them. So I felt kind of bad because the spot they were in, Jack put the ducks down there in the water. He was like, no, they're good up here by the house. And so I take a little bit of responsibility. So we ordered some new ducks. He did so good. He had them for almost a whole year before my pushing him to put them in a spot he didn't want kind of led to their demise. So we ordered new ducks for him. He was very, very excited.
It was a surprise.
It was a
He
surprise.
had no idea until we were going to the post office to get them.
We come walking out of the post office and he goes, are those ducks? You bought me ducks. Yeah.
So
These are the ducks.
10 ducks.
I swear they have doubled in size in 4 days.
Huge.
So they were only maybe what, a couple days old, a week
They were
old.
like a week old, yeah.
When we left, and so here they are.
Yeah.
So along with that, getting outside, I need to build a compost pile. I have a pile of pallets from buying feed and stuff like that. I'm gonna go build a compost pile in the garden. That way we have a place to put it, because I can't get to the compost piles that are way over there because I don't want to squish the squash, because the squash has pretty much
Taken over.
Here, we can walk down here. The chickens that have been in here, they've only been in here not even a week. I put them in Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's Monday. Yeah. These guys have just about worked it down to bare dirt. I mean, that was a massive squash plant, and all that's left is just the vines. The grass was about 1.5 feet tall, and they've just about eaten it all. Hi, Chuck. So these guys are just about ready to move. Pigs are unchanged. We gave them a couple hay bales before we left, and they have almost completely destroyed the hay bales and worked it into the dirt. Well, I'm gonna get building this compost pile. I've got to pull some T-posts and stuff like that.
So this will be our fertility for next spring.
Yeah.
This is a bed we're not going to use this winter.
Yeah,
So.
pretty much this winter I'm going to use this top row for the most part, ready to go. I've got some stuff I've got to get in the ground.
Yeah.
But this will be our winter garden. I've got some row cover so I can cover some of the stuff we put in. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna get started moving some stuff.
Go do laundry.
There's a lot of it in 4 days.
There is.
All right, now that we have our first volunteers for compost, that is a tall compost pile. If we can fill that thing up, it'll be a lot of compost. You know, it won't all go in this bed. It'll treat all the beds around it, but we are entering leaf season and I love leaf compost. You know, usually what I'll do is these last few mowings I get before it gets too cold, I'll save all of my grass clippings and then I can mix grass clippings and leaves and get really nice compost. My fall compost is my favorite compost to make because it's super simple and it turns into just black goodness. We'll just keep adding to this, grass clippings, leaves, bedding, stuff like that. Fall compost piles are kind of whatever you've got because, you know, you're not ripping out as much garden and stuff like that. All right, all done. So I got a little bit busy yesterday after I made that compost pile. Yesterday I had to run to the store and like get milk, stuff like that, you know, errands. Just the day got away, but I did yesterday evening get to mow down here around and I saved all the grass clippings. I'll show you over there. I got them started in that compost pile. Got a huge pile of leaves over here that I raked up the other day, so I'm gonna start taking some leaves over there. I guess that's what today's video is gonna be about. Hey guys, let's make compost. Whole bunch of grass. I'm gonna start adding leaves. I'll probably get a whole couple loads in there and then start mixing it. It's not too deep and it's not packed down. It really needs to be mixed pretty good, and then I'll add some water. I just remembered I have an experiment that I wanted to try. I had a whole bunch of cardboard boxes and I ran one over with a lawnmower and it turned it into cardboard mulch. Like, it just shredded it. So I laid out a couple cardboard boxes and I shredded them. I drove over them a whole bunch of times with the lawnmower. I should have filmed it. It was actually kind of cool. Just a rooster tail of cardboard. Well, I raked it all up with grass clippings and I've got it in a trash bag over there and it's composting in the trash bag. I was, waiting for this. I'm gonna add it to this and I wanna see if I can break down the compost. It would be one of those things, in the off season, if I don't have leaves, but I have plenty of grass clippings, I could just chop up some cardboard and use that as my brown for my compost pile. So we're gonna see if it works. So I've got that pretty much mixed. I can get more leaves, but that's a good start. I'm gonna add this bag. Let's open this thing up and show you guys. All right, so that's just cardboard with grass, and it did get hot, and now it is cooled off. It didn't have enough nitrogen. There's too much dry stuff, too much carbon. I'm gonna mix that in there, get that all done up. And then in this garden bed, I'm gonna take some of this dirt and mix it into the pile. Not very much. I think what I found is about 10% dirt to your compost pile actually helps it kind of, at the end, it'll be more like a garden soil than just compost. And that's what I'm making, is garden soil. Usually what I do is 10%. I've done as much as it was probably 30% dirt, and it was just too much dirt. I couldn't get it to compost right. It ended up having to sit for almost a year, and even though it took longer, it was actually really good garden compost. Like, it was ready to grow stuff. I could tell when it was done because stuff started sprouting in the compost pile. It's like, oh, it must be done. So I'm gonna grab some of this dirt that's in this bed, not a whole lot, and I'm just gonna start adding it in as I mix all this in, and then I'm gonna run out of room here pretty quick, and I'm gonna have to put the side back on. But yeah, this is building a compost pile 101. We've got our grass clippings, we've got our leaves. I'm gonna add some dirt from the actual bed that it's being built on, and then I gotta drag over a hose, start getting it all wet. It will shrink down a lot once it starts getting wet, and then I'm gonna add the bag of cardboard and grass clippings to that and get it all mixed in, get it all, you know, happy to do what it's gonna do, and then that'll be it. Compost is one of those things that is honestly so simple. Once you learn how to do it, it's just like no big deal. So that right there, I've only been out here maybe 20 minutes. That right there, just do that on any scale, compost. There are literally millions of videos out there of people showing how to make compost on YouTube. A lot of them are really, really good videos, and some of them overcomplicate the subject. This time I'm adding cardboard. I might have garden remnants, stuff I've pulled out. A lot of the things about your compost is anything you rip out of your garden took nutrients from your garden and has put it into the plant. I've done stuff where I take stuff out of here and I go feed it to the pigs. Well, now those nutrients are no longer here and they are in the pig pen. So what I like to do is keep the compost piles close to the garden. So whatever comes out of the garden will go right back into the garden. Just some food for thought. I'm gonna get this side back on here and I'm gonna water this thing in. How much water do you add to a compost pile? I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that would tell you it's an exact science. You need 43.2% water. No, I add water until I see it starting to drip out the bottom, like right there. But it'll be coming out of, you know, like the actual bottom. It's not really an exact science. Some people like to grab a chunk of compost in their hand, and if you can squeeze it and get, you know, 5 drops out of it, that's the perfect. No, just water it till you think it looks good, and that's all you need. Compost is one of those things. Just do it. Just try it. What's going to happen if you fail? Well, then you have to make another compost pile, and if you don't like the stuff you have, then put your chickens on it. They'll sort through it. They'll scrape everything good out of it, all the bugs, whatever, and then you have some good top dressing. You can, you know, use it as a mulch on your garden. If it doesn't get hot enough, you have mulch. If it does get hot enough, you have compost. So yeah, it's really not a hard thing. I encourage everybody to play around with making compost. You can make compost out of everything: your food scraps, your grass clippings, your leaves, stuff you pull out of the garden. Like, here's a good one. This right here is comfrey. I weed eated it because it was starting to get way over here. Comfrey is one of those plants that's a deep miner. Ooh, sorry, sidetrack. Look at this. These little chilies right there, that is a pepper plant I planted. I watered this spot 3 times a day. Nothing ever came up. Yeah, don't mind the yard lights. That was just where I stuck them. I babied this seed. Could never get it to come up. When we were clearing the garden, that thing had sprouted. And it's got peppers on it. This is a Apocalypse Scorpion chili. These are supposed to be some of the hottest peppers you can find. I like hot stuff. Sorry for the sidetrack. So this is comfrey. This stuff is just garden gold right here. This plant will reach down deep and pull up nutrients that the other stuff can't get deep enough to reach, and it puts it in its leaves. You can put this stuff in the blender. You can make a slurry. You can pour that right on your plants. It's fertilizer. You guys who've been with us for a while this summer, I made compost tea, like Comfrey tea out of this stuff. You just put a whole ton of these leaves in a bucket with water and let it sit and get nasty. It's one of the stinkiest things in the world. I don't think a sewage treatment plant even stinks as bad as that stuff. Don't get it on you. That's a good idea. I think I'm going to use some Comfrey tea to add to this compost pile to get it started. I just thought of that right now. That's a good idea. All right, so this stuff, I'll add that to the compost pile. Doesn't really matter what you add, like I said. It's all fair game in a compost pile. All right, I'm gonna grab some Comfrey tea and add that to this. I started that in July. We're in October. Oh, I'm afraid to open it. All right, luckily this one has a pour spout on it. If I can get it to pop out. Good. Oh, I'm scared. Oh. Now hopefully it doesn't splash on me. Okay, yep, that's good. All right, Buggy, let's get out of here. That reeks. It's like the scent of 1,000 pig pens. Yeah, can you smell that, Buggy? Now that that pile is hazardous waste, I'm just gonna call it good. I've never tried doing tea. There was a pile I did. It was probably this spring, and I used fish fertilizer, fish poo, and you know there's a ratio for starting compost right there on the bottle, and so I added that, and that pile held 160 degrees for 2 months. When it was done, there was nothing left. So you can get it too hot. Speaking of piles, I gotta walk over here and grab my thermometer. So while we're over here, we'll look at the pile of garden stuff. So honestly, what I should have done with a lot of this stuff was I should have just laid it out and mowed it and then raked it up and made compost out of it, because what has happened is the woody stuff was too big. So here's the pile. This was the garden stuff. The kids piled this up for me. It did good, but ultimately it ran out of nitrogen. There wasn't enough. Maybe if I'd covered it and stomped on it to get it kind of down. This pile at the middle, we're around 100 degrees. It's pretty much done. Even at 100 degrees, it's still active, but it's pretty much done. So in the meantime, I'm just gonna steal this one and we'll go put that one in the new compost pile. This pile still reeks. So all I'm gonna do is stick this in there. I'll stick it in a position where I can see it from the house, about right in the corner. Yep, that one's down at 80 degrees. I bet you by this time tomorrow, it'll be up around 100 and maybe 20. And in 2 days, it'll probably be up to about 160 degrees, if we did it right. So, that's compost, guys. It's not that hard. You just have to not be afraid to do it. All right, now that the compost pile's done, one more thing on the agenda today. While we were at Homesteaders of America, we went to the Stark booth and talked to Stark. Stark Brothers is pretty much where we like getting our trees from.
Yes, they're amazing.
We've worked with them since they've been here. They've been really good to us. They were shutting down their booth and packing up, and they had all the plants they had brought, and they're like, do you guys want them? Heck yes! So I went and got the car, pulled the car around, and we crammed plants around everybody. It was the kids in the back row were like, I can't move my feet with all these plants in here, so
You'll be fine. Don't worry.
You'll be fine. These plants need to come home.
Yeah.
So we have adopted a small pile of plants, and we're gonna get them in the ground. There's a couple trees. I will show you. That one's a blueberry.
This was.
That's a citrus.
Oh,
That's a key lime.
Yay, more citrus. Some strawberries.
A couple strawberries. Here is.
Hardy kiwi.
It's a hardy kiwi.
Cool. Another hardy kiwi.
Another hardy kiwi. I didn't realize we had two.
Cool.
Yay! That's a grape.
Niagara grape. Awesome.
That's hops.
Cool.
I've always wanted hops. Back when I used to brew my own beer, I always wanted to plant hops and trellis it and let it do some stuff.
Yeah.
But that's all right. It'd still be cool. That's a cool plant to grow.
Yeah, it is.
Another citrus.
It's a Meyer lemon.
Meyer lemon.
So those are the
Sweet.
sweeter ones.
This is a plant I've never seen before. This is a American cranberry. I asked if it needed a swamp. He said he didn't think so, but
Okay, we'll have to look up how
we'll
to
look
plant
up.
it. One of the things about Stark is really cool is on their website, you go to any of the plants and they will give you planting and care instructions for everything.
Yes, so when you get handed an American cranberry and you don't know,
yeah,
you can go find out.
We'll figure out where to stick in. More strawberries, some.
We got thornless blackberries.
Blackberries, and what was that?
That one's a black raspberry, I believe.
Oh, cool.
Which I know I love black raspberry. It's Caroline red raspberry. Okay.
Red raspberry.
Maybe it's the blackberries that I'm thinking of.
Cool.
And then a couple strawberries.
Yep, and some tree, a golden delicious apple, a Texas everbearing fig.
A pawpaw.
Oh yeah, that's right, the Asian persimmon.
The Asian persimmon.
So, we are going to figure out where to stick these.
Fig is going to go in the garden, and then the apple we'll put out in the orchard.
Yep, so we're just going to kind of
just go stick stuff in various places.
The citrus we will probably keep potted. We'll probably up pot it, give it a little more room.
Yeah.
And keep it with our other citrus that we have potted still.
Yep.
Because it's too cold here for citrus to be just in the ground. Eventually they're going to go in a greenhouse, which we probably should build soon because this older citrus that my grandmother brought is like, it needs some more space. But that's what we'll do with the citrus is we'll just keep those on their own and movable so we can get them some more protection during the winter. But
all right, let's get planting.
Cool. All right, so we have found a spot for the berries. Had to be kind of a permanent spot.
This particular bed right here we grew in last season, and I just, with everything going on over there, I never really needed this spot. I mean, I needed it, but didn't need it.
We didn't quite get to it. And same as the first year, too, because you tilled this the first year, and it even then was just kind of a out-of-the-way, odd place.
So, you know, you have your zones, zone 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
Zone 5 is like the woods. Zone 3 is like kind of like the orchard.
Yeah.
Zone 2...
like your immediate garden stuff, and then zone 1 is around your house.
Yeah.
You're super right there up close.
I would say this, judging by how much we've needed it and used it, is between a 2 and a 3.
Yeah.
You know, this is probably 3. So we can put our berries right here, and they can just do their thing.
Yep. That's the benefit of kind of being lazy in our planting, is learning what spaces are our most go-to. So if you're starting out and you're not sure where to put things, just wait a year, honestly.
Yeah,
and see where
that's been one of the things developing a homestead is like, we're gonna put this here and we're gonna put this here, and then 2 years in, it's like, I wish we hadn't put that there.
Yes.
So it's good that we haven't done everything all at once because, you know, like this, yeah, I rototilled it, and yeah, I've put a ton of compost in it, but we didn't use it this year. And it's like, this spot right here needs something I don't have to mess with.
Yes.
So like berries and stuff like that.
Right.
I've got enough for 2 rows. We'll do blueberries and stuff in part of it.
Yep.
And we'll do, you know, maybe a row of berries.
Yes, and I did look up the cranberry. The cranberry likes a well-drained acidic soil, so we're gonna stick it out here too. Our soil tends to run on the more acidic side. It's probably not perfect for berries, but we do grow berries here fairly well.
They grow everywhere.
They do. So we're gonna stick it here, and if we have to amend as we go to add more acidity, then we will do that. But
we have some coffee grounds.
we do. We have a lot of coffee grounds.
So a couple of these were blueberries that I stuck in the nursery last fall and forgot about.
Yeah.
They have survived on nothing but rainwater.
Yeah, they're doing great.
All right. Poor little scraggly guys. Blueberries always look so bad in the beginning.
They do.
Like in the pots. Like I've never seen good looking blueberries in the pots. And then in like a year, it's like, wow, what a beautiful blueberry.
I'm very excited for this. Blueberries are one of the things, you know, I buy blueberries every month from Azure Standard because we put them in our muffins and stuff.
Yes.
So the thought of having our own blueberries,
Well, it's one of those things, like, if you actually sit and think what it looks like to raise all of your own food, we are pretty much spoiled if you can go year-round to the grocery store, buy something out of season that came from 10,000 miles away.
Right.
What it looks like for us to pick our own blackberries and put them in the freezer so we have them throughout the winter even. It takes a lot of blackberries just using them as a treat.
Right.
You know, hey, let's have blackberry syrup with pancakes.
Right.
And then you pull out a quart of blackberries and you make the syrup and that's it.
Yep.
And we only got 5 quarts.
Yep.
So
gotta stretch it.
Yep.
But that's what it is to live with the earth.
Yeah, live with the season.
Yeah.
Eat the seasons.
Yep.
All right. We're gonna put down cardboard and then grab leaves, since that's what we have is leaves.
Yep. Alright, so the fig is going right there in front of the pole between the beds.
There.
It's a good spot for it.
Pretty much no man's land right here.
Yeah.
I can't get the rototiller between the bed and the post.
Right.
So that's a good spot for it. And then if I need to, like, you know, wrap it with a blanket over the winter,
yeah,
I have something I could tie to if I needed to.
Exactly. And I do realize that there's going to be shade. I'm so sure somebody will mention that, shade over our garden beds. But we will keep this trimmed for the most part. And we have an east to west garden, so it's only going to get shade part of the day. And then the rest of the day it's going to be getting sun. So we will just make sure that whatever we put here can deal with a little more shade and a little less sunlight during the day. There we go. Good job.
All done.
All done. Everything's in the ground. We will probably wander around with some water buckets and get everything watered in. And
I'll drag a hose.
yeah, you could drag a hose, whichever. So.
Oh, you're helping.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Are you helping?
She's picking up the dirt and throwing it.
Throwing it. Yay.
Yay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we got to go wash a baby now.
All right. That's all right. She is happy. Super happy. I want to say a huge thank you to Stark for the bonus goodies that we were not expecting with HOA, but that was a really happy surprise. They have found a very good home. We will be super happy to be eating off of these in the future.
Yep.
I'm really excited about that orchard berry patch.
We'll keep adding to it.
Oh yeah, that will get bigger and bigger.
What do you think, sister?
But
She's
it'll
like,
be good.
"Put me down." Here, you want to sit in here? Here.
There we go. All right, so we're gonna go clean up this baby. Call it a day. It's a good day. Lots of stuff done.
Lots of stuff done. It feels good to be back.
It does. It does. All right, we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Bye.